Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Transport Manager Coach podcast, a space where we share real stories, practical lessons, and inspiring conversations from the world of transport and logistics. I'm Leo, and our aim is bi-weekly or definitely at least once a month to sit down with transport managers, auditors, consultants, and entrepreneurs who are out there making an impact, keeping fleets safe, businesses compliant, and the industry moving forward. Our goal with this show is simple: to give you insights, tools, and encouragement to grow in your role, build your business, and step into the best version of yourself as a leader in transport. So let's dive in. Tonight, alongside myself, I have Darren, who is my partner in crime in the Transport Manager Coach. Hi,
Afternoon,
Darren.
everyone. Afternoon. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. I'm very well. And our guest this evening is Simon from Essex Transport Compliance, and he's also the lead DVSA approved auditor for To Be Compliant. Hi, Simon.
Hi Leo, hi Darren. It's great to be with you guys.
How you
No,
Welcome to
doing,
pleasure
our
to
mate?
have
listeners.
you on.
Thank you.
Excellent. Um, so I'll lead in with the questions, Simon. As it's we've chatted a little bit online, but this is the first time this evening that we've actually chatted in person. So I'm gagging to hear more about yourself and your experience in the industry. Um, as I mentioned in the intro, you have your own compliance business, Essex Transport Compliance. So you're an external transport manager, but then you also are the lead auditor for To Be Compliant. So could you share how your journey started and how you got yourself into those two roles?
Well, it all started about 20 years ago when I was working for Tesco's in a warehouse, and the opportunity came up to go and work as a transport manager. So I moved into transport and worked in different supermarkets across a period of almost 20 years in various roles. Finally, reaching the point where I was with Poundland and moved from transport management into compliance. I was the compliance manager for Poundland's staff depot in Harlow. And then the opportunity came up to branch out on my own. I saw the opportunity to have the franchise, grabbed it with both hands, and it's been a year now. A rocky road, I've got to say. It's a difficult thing to do to get a franchise up and running, but it is so worthwhile.
Yeah,
Oh,
I,
that's great.
I just want to say, Simon, I feel you, mate. You've gone through some stages, but you've gone over and you've dealt with it, and fair play to you, mate. And yeah, we're here to help you all the way, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. And your support is always appreciated.
Appreciate it, mate.
Yes, that's a great journey, and well, I suppose it is maybe the journey of the entrepreneur at points, isn't it? You had you was working for Tesco's and Poundland, obviously huge businesses and corporations. You was I'm making an assumption here, but you might have had a decent level of job security there. You was an internal transport manager, and then you decided to branch out on your own and do the franchise model to be an external transport manager. It's a big leap. So no, I'm glad you're feeling like it's paying off. Any type of business that you have to run yourself is never going to be plain sailing. I think most people wish it were, but no, all the all the props in the world for taking that leap. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and did you find it an easy transition to go from internal to external TM?
Um, no, I think it's in a corporation like Poundland, like Tesco. Um, you've got so much infrastructure built in around you. You're not sure about something. There's someone there that it's their department to do it. You'll have an
Mm,
on-site VMU, vehicle maintenance unit, that sort of thing. So it's easy just to off-source something if you're not sure. Uh,
hmm
and you can almost run away from things that you don't want to deal with. And once you are your own man or your own boss, then you've got to face up to the things that you haven't enjoyed so much or you haven't wanted to embrace, and say, well, this is all
Yeah.
part of what it is now. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I'm going to take that on board as well. I'm going to devote more time to that. And yeah, there are techniques. You've got to prioritize the difficult stuff sometimes to make sure that you don't just do the enjoyable bits.
Mm. And like you say, when you're a big corporation like that, and you've got other teams and all these procedures and internal SOPs and stuff like that to fall back on when you're out on your own, you've got to try, and even though you've had that experience with those, you've then still got to try and replicate them into your new world, your new day-to-day life, and then to your new customers as well. Obviously, at Poundland, or Tesco's, it's pretty much of a case of everyone has to fall in line, or they don't keep their jobs. That's the
Yep.
the mechanics, the drivers, all things like that. But when you've got your first customer on your or you're on your first customer's license, and then you're trying to introduce to them all these new procedures and things that you're carrying from a big corporation like Tesco's, but a lot of the time it's a bit of a hard sell.
Yeah, I think especially because people who operate small businesses can often um, have very different problems to the big blue chip companies.
Mm,
Uh, and cash flow can be an issue. Um, Vehicle maintenance, you can't, if you've got a fleet of 150 lorries, it doesn't matter if you've got 20 off the road. If you've got three and two of them are off the road, that's two-thirds of your entire fleet at one time parked up. So that again was quite a tough adjustment.
mm,
I was
yeah.
going to say, Simon, like I've come from sort of similar background to yourself, from going
Mm,
from network rail and big corporate. It's two different leagues, isn't it? It's two
yeah,
different
yeah,
roles. Like you think internal and external are the same. They're really not. Even though you're doing the same job, it's just two different leagues, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very well put.
Mm. And how many licenses are you currently on at the moment?
I'm currently external transport manager on three and consultant on a further one.
And how did you go about finding those O licenses to be a part of, to go on board with?
Well, a lot of it was support from Darren and the work that the hub did in generating business, promoting myself, and to be compliant within the area.
Hmm.
That brought two, one of which is no longer in operation. But that brought the first two to me, and then two came from myself, just sort of rattling around and knocking on doors and pushing until we got an answer. So it's a bit of both, but it's as you said yourself, if you want the portion and the dream, you've got to get off your backside and put it into action.
Indeed, yeah. And you mentioned as well, you took the franchise out, and I'm assuming through that is how you kind of branched into the auditing side of things as well. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, so I wasn't too sure about auditing. I thought I might enjoy it, but never really done it before. Darren has a wealth of experience of it and was keen to get me involved. And I just took to it like a duck to water. I've just really enjoyed um, getting under the skin of companies, helping them to see where the weak points are, helping them to build a improvement plan that will be acceptable to transport commissioners, and bringing all that together in a very short period of time.
I if I
Yeah,
can jump on that, Leo and
yeah,
Simon,
go for it.
like when I took on Simon to come on board to do auditing and everything, just him being there and his wealth of knowledge, like even I'm learning from him, even though I'm an expert in auditing, DVSA approved. I think he's undervaluing himself a bit. Like, he's absolutely amazing at it, and even to today, you've even altered some of our audit documents and sheets for the best. So I really want to take my hat off to Simon, because he is great at his job, and that's the reasons why he is the lead auditor for to be compliant. That is powering the transport manager coach. So yeah, just wanted to just have my say in there and say, Simon, you're absolutely smashing it, mate. You really are. So thank you very much, mate.
Thank you. I appreciate that. One of the things about auditing is it's almost like an exam for an operator.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I had huge exam anxiety. Most of us really struggled at school, and exam times were an awful thing. And having that almost paralyzing mentality that this is something that's going to be difficult, it's going to be hard for me, that is something that you've got to break down when you go in and start auditing. You've got to take away that fear factor and say, no, this is something we're going to do together. We're working together to get you from a bad place. Often they're in a bad place, which is why they need an audit. But we're going to get you into a better place, both in terms of your own operation, in terms of your standing in front of the traffic commissioner, and in terms of you working to make this slick and better.
Like you say, it's that for the operator, it's that kind of anxiety, isn't it? It's almost like if you're a little bit under the cosh with finances or anything like that, you let the bills stack up. You don't want to open the bills because you don't want to actually see how bad things are. So you let them just build up, out of sight, out of mind. So for an operator who might, it's a very general sort of like a statement here, but they might be sort of like more blue collared, like a good leader of men, pragmatic and more practical and good with the operation side of things. But when it comes to the paperwork and the back office compliance, it's all a little bit of a foreign language to them. So something like a DVS audit letter landing on their desk can kind of be, and in a lot of cases is the worst nightmare. So when just to backpedal a little bit, so the auditing you do, is that on behalf of to be compliant, or on behalf of the DVSA? Is it a service to the operator to help get them in line, or is it on behalf of the DVSA where you're going in there to, of course, still get them in line and turn them into a safe and compliant operator? But who are you going into these businesses for on behalf of?
Right. We're going in on behalf of to be compliant. The DVSA have required the audit. It's usually an undertaking that's added onto the license. That's something that the operator has to do. It's usually fairly prescriptive. It will be on this date or in this month or by this date. And you will then give us this set of things as an outcome. You will send over the audit from a third party. You will send us your improvement plan. You will send us your financial details. So there may be other things that are included in that, and there may be other bits of training that go with it as well. But yeah, we come in we are in a sense representing the DVSA. We're reporting to the DVSA or to the traffic commissioner. But the important thing with the DVSA is that we are of a standard. We are approved to the earned recognition standard within the DVSA. And that gives a level of confidence on behalf of the operator that it's not just someone that's picked up a notebook and is coming in. It's someone that really knows what they're doing and knows transport from the inside as well, and is bringing that kind of attention to detail together with an arm around the shoulder and let's do this together. Usually not a literal arm around the shoulder. I'm too small for that. But a chance to work together, to team up. And it's not adversarial, it's not confrontational, it's collaborative.
And
Oh, that must be such a
Simon,
reassurance for the operator that you're not there like they may think from an actual DVSA auditor to possibly try and trip them up or something like that.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
I mean, I didn't realise all of that myself. So, I mean, I'm an operator as well. So, having having someone like yourselves turn up, that's just a huge reassurance. I mean, do you also
yeah,
offer that? Say, I don't know, you might be a new transport manager that's gone into a business and may a little bit unsure about their operation, or you can get them um, fixed up and in line, but you also just want a second set of eyes on it. And
yeah.
we hire you in directly rather than through the DVSA just to do an audit for us or to audit on the business? Or even if I am an operator and I want to check my TM's doing his job right, can I have you guys in just to do an audit off my own back just to reassure myself?
Absolutely, you can, and in fact, it's preferable to have someone like myself to come in and to put everything in order before it gets to the point where one of your vehicles gets stopped because it's overweight or over width or
Mm.
doesn't have the correct placards on, and suddenly you're there facing the potential of a public inquiry. And that's sort of worst case scenario for any operator.
No,
and
definitely.
Simon, also, like, how many times do you get to these operators? We've experienced it ourselves where they're scared, aren't they? They see
Oh
audit
yeah,
and they think a bad audit is a bad audit, but a bad
yeah,
audit's only bad if you've not got any recommendations or be identifying what needs to be rectified.
yeah.
And I think I've experienced it from yourself, Simon, as you go in there. And the first 20 minutes of the audit is actually reassuring them that we're there to help support them, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And also, as you mentioned, that I tweaked the audit. I've identified the baker's dozen 13 critical fails, any one of which will fail your audit. So you could have everything else right, but there's one thing not being done. For instance, license checks. Um, you don't know that your drivers are legal to go on the road. Um,
Mm.
so how can your operation be functioning correctly?
Yeah.
So those are the key points of an audit now are the 13 critical fails. So the first things that I look for. And then all the rest is putting the rest of the picture together and saying, okay, so what's the infrastructure you have in place to support this? How does it all come together? How does it interlock? Does it function well to support your 13 critical points? And that's our building block.
And also the beauty of this platform, the Transfer Manager Coaches, with it being powered by To Be Compliant and everyone a part of it, they will get discount for anyone that approaches Simon the business to actually have people like ourselves come in and help them to, if maybe they've taken on a first transport manager role as an external transport manager, or and we can come in and help keep them up to date and just to reassure the new external transport manager that they know what they're doing as well. So you can have someone like Simon come along for the day and help you set up a brand new operator. So it makes sure that you've got all your systems in place, all your driver files, your vehicle files, even the assurance tracker. He can help you to get you where you need to be. So then you can then feel comfortable when he leaves and gives you a pre-audit. It doesn't have to go to DVSA or anything like that. But what Simon will do is he'll come in and just make sure you got all your ducks in order, and then you're comfortable. And then we're always at the end of the phone, the transfer manager coach and Simon and myself. So that there's a beauty of being part of this community and having people like Simon on board.
It's almost like running a commercial factory. You might have like a PAYE employed health and safety bod who works for you, but then you might also want to once a year get an external health and safety company come in just to audit the business, just in case you do have HSE turn up one day out of the blue, and that they're not going to catch you out. So no, it's an amazing tool to be able to access.
And
Simon, when you do go into a business to audit, what's kind of like the most common gap or blind spot you uncover? Is there something that tends to be sort of like a common vein when you're going into places?
No, I think everyone's different. I haven't yet come across two that had the same
Hmm.
problem, which again makes it quite interesting.
Hmm.
Um, I think the common denominator is always the fear. That's it's something it's kind of inbred. This spotlight is now on me. I know what the potential it could have to go to traffic commissioner, to go to a public inquiry, and where that could lead. And if this doesn't go well, my whole business, my whole livelihood, everything is at stake. And I think
Hmm.
that is more common than any particular omissions.
And have you ever um, found a business that you've got into that is where you thought like, crikey, these guys should not be putting on another lorry on the road until serious things are changed? Or have you, is everyone no bad, no matter how bad they think they are or in the situation they are, that you're confident you can get them fixed up pretty quickly, or some are just beyond help?
I had one that I thought would be extremely challenging, would be very, very hard to even get to 50% on the audit. Um, and it turns out that before we even got to the audit, they said, well, actually, I'm just going to let my license lapse. They can take it away if they want. Um, I don't really care about that. I've got other businesses. And I think that was a good day for the transport industry when they made that decision.
Right, I see. Follow me. And the what's the most rewarding part of helping businesses? I'm assuming one of them is sort of like if they are very fearful when you turn up, assuming they're put a lot more at ease by your presence, and when you leave, they're a better kind of emotional and mental state.
Yeah.
But yeah, what other rewarding parts of the of helping businesses with compliance are there?
I think that is the main one. Having them go from a place of fear to forward facing and looking to the future. Um, but I think the other one would be picking up on something that they weren't even aware that they should be doing. That could easily have a spot fine, hundreds of pounds for the driver and for the operator. Um, Little things like failing to display a current O license disc in the windscreen, um,
Mhm.
and sort of getting that corrected and knowing that their driver and the operator are now protected by that. That gives me a buzz.
Oh, brilliant. And for the transport managers listening right now to the podcast, what's one practice that they could put in place today, this evening, or tomorrow for each of their operators that will save them big headaches going forwards?
Paperwork. It's always about keeping the best records you can. It doesn't matter if you have physical copies or on an online system, whichever one you go for. Make sure it is thorough. Make sure it's robust. Have a good system in place, but look after the paperwork.
Perfect. And then I assume the other one is to get you guys in for an audit on their at least one of their suppliers, check the checker, as it were.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. You can always do that, and that's an option that not many people think of doing, but would actually save a lot of trouble in the long run.
Excellent. And what we like to do with the podcast, because we are getting near the end of our time. I definitely want to have you back on again, even if it's maybe to go through a bit of a kind of a walkthrough of one of your audit checklists, because I've got dozens of questions left to ask, but I'm afraid we are running a little bit out of time. So are you up for a bit of a quick fire round?
Yeah, let's go for something. Yeah.
Brilliant. So it's just first thing to come to mind. It's only four silly little questions, but it may give us a little bit of a further insight into yourselves. Are you a coffee or energy drink man?
Energy, but the old style Lucasade,
Like it, the old style, with the
the
orange,
original.
the
Yeah,
original. Oh, good
Old
man.
school, love it.
Like it. Seaside or countryside?
seaside.
Yes, brilliant. I think both myself and Darren, we were at the seaside this weekend, weren't we? I was at
Yeah,
Whitstable and you were down at Swanage, weren't you? So
Swanage,
we're all.
Swanage, even the kids didn't enjoy it, but it was the rain, but it was good.
What does that matter? As long as we enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
So, a beer or wine drinker?
No, it'd be beer rather than wine. I don't drink a lot of alcohol, but it would be beer rather than wine. And my missus, different question. Certainly different answer.
Yeah. And lastly, what was the last thing that you spent more than £100 on? Let's have to think. He's frugal man.
Yeah, that's my laptop.
Your
Yeah, the
laptop.
laptop that I bought for
Hey,
work.
it's just
Yeah.
an integral part, isn't it, for
Yeah,
external
but you've got to
transport
have one that,
managers?
that does everything that you need, and it doubles up for your leisure as well. So it's got to have it all.
Excellent. Well, yeah, as I say, unfortunately, that we are running out of time. But we definitely will have you back on again, Simon. As I say, I've still got so many questions, and Darren's spoken to me about it before, about coming in and doing the audit on my business. So it's definitely
Yeah,
something I want to chat about again in the future.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and I just want to say thanks for everyone else for listening to the Transport Manager Coach podcast. Hopefully, they've got as much out of today's conversation with Simon as I have. And it's given them some encouragement and ideas. Hi everyone, apologies about that. I threatened it and it actually happened. We ran out of time. But I'm back on here now just to thank you all again for listening to the Transport Manager Coach podcast. I hope today's conversation with Simon has given you some ideas and encouragement and even a bit of a new perspective to bring to your own journey. I think you'll agree that Simon's journey, his experience, and everything he brings to the industry and auditing, just chatting to him today and just hearing about that will help us all implement stuff to our own businesses. If you did find value in this, please share it with someone else in the industry who'd benefit. And if you want to go deeper, join our school community where we can connect, share resources and help each other level up. As Simon was saying, what he benefited from at Poundland and Tesco was that he had that support. If there was just anything he wasn't sure about or he wanted a second opinion, he had that department or that person he could turn to and ask the questions. If he needed a spreadsheet or a calculator or something to help him complete his task or role, or even something that he just didn't want to dig into too much himself and just ask a question, he had that support there. And that's where we see ourselves at the Transport Manager Coach. We are here to support you, to help you run your businesses, to excel and succeed. So please reach out to us, ask the questions, get involved in the group, and we'll do everything we can to help you level up your business. So until next time, stay committed, stay inspired, and keep driving the industry forward. Take care.